You know, the growers, you as growers are taking on more acres and you're trying to be more productive and you want to be more efficient. And John Deere's been trying to come with more efficient, productive tools. You know, seeding and accuracy is in a very limited window is crucial to your maximizing your crop potential. John Deere's been had innovative designs since the 1900s. Who can tell me the first year the 7000 planter came out? Yeah, 75. Okay. Well, anyway, you know, that's been a few years ago, and they're building, they're trying to follow the footsteps, and the XP unit, which we have on the current planter, is kind of following in the footsteps of the 7000 that revolutionized the planting industry. To me, I really think the planter is probably the most important tool that you have on your farm. I kind of think of a planter as a foundation of your house. You know, if you build a house and you got the foundation crooked or it's unlevel, you know, no matter what you do to the house, it's going to be wrong. So the planter is kind of the start. You don't get it right, to me, everything else the rest of the year is going to be wrong. Okay, the planter has 4 basic jobs. Okay, can everybody tell me one of them? Come on, it's not that hard. Anybody? Okay, we got to we got to remove trash, cut the trash, and remove it out of the way. Okay, the second job of the planter is to penetrate the soil and get it at the proper seed depth. The third job is to meter the seed and to get the seed placed properly. And the fourth job is to close the seed trench. Establish proper seed, soil contact, and close the seed trench. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go through this and go through some of the things that we need to be looking at. And I always like to start up front. That's the reason we have this up front. What kind of, most of the time on this area right here, we're going to be using either no-till coolers, residue managers, or a combination of both. So what kind of adjustments we want to look at up front on these fuels right here? Any ideas? It's a hard job today. Okay, first thing you want to do, before we even get to the no-till coolers, is we want to make sure the planter is level. Because if the planter is not level, it's either going to be running on its nose or on its heel, and you're not going to be able to get your residue manager set properly, or your no-till coolers set properly. Of course, you'll want to look at your no-till cooler, make sure they're okay, make sure everything on your residue managers are in good working order. And you know, those residue managers don't last forever. You know, just like a no-till cooler, as it wears, it gets smaller, and those residue managers do too. So that's something you want to look at. Okay, the second is to penetrate the soil to the desired seeding depth. Thing we want to look at there, the first thing you want to look at is your disc openers. Disc openers are supposed to measure 15 inches diameter. Can anybody tell me when we were supposed to replace it? 14 and a quarter. That's unless you're thinking about trading. Usually the guys are thinking about trading for next year. They think they can get by with 14 because they'll let the next guy worry about it. But 14 and a quarter is really when you need to be changing them. And it's really important that you have those openers at the right diameter, because that is what's making the seed trench for the seed to drop in. Also, you also want to make sure that you got the blade contact. Everybody know how much we're supposed to have blade contact on the openers? Okay, I'm going to draw in here. Okay, we're at the 4 o'clock position. If you're looking at it on here, at the 4 o'clock position, you're supposed to have 1.5 to 2.5 inches of contact on that blade. And that's really important to make that seed trench, or make that true V right. Okay, you also, how many guys use scrapers in here? Everybody? Nobody? You use scrapers? Yeah, this year. If you got scrapers on, you want to check those scrapers out and make sure either you got the rotary scrapers or if you got the heavy duty ones. The other thing you want to check is this seed protector, the frog they call it, that goes in front of the seed tube, because it will wear off. And as it wears, the seed tube, this one sits in there, as this wears, it'll actually wear the bottom of that seed tube off. Not only will that cause you problems on your accuracy, it'll just start dribbling seeds out the side. Now this, if you replace this frog, this is the only one you can get. Now it's got the seed tube holder on it. Because in the past, a seed tube would wobble in there and it would wear the sides off. So you want to look at that, make sure your seed tube's good and these aren't wore off on this front side. The other thing you want to check is your parallel arms. Make sure that the bolts aren't loose and the bearings aren't out, because otherwise you get a lot of movement in that parallel linkage. Your row can weave back and forth and it doesn't give you the proper seed depth that you want. The other thing is you want to check your drive tires. You want to make sure the air pressure is right, especially if you got a planter that's got the tire-to-tire contact on your seed transmission, because if that tire is not inflated to the proper pressure, it can change your variation on your seed rates. Okay, you want to check your sprockets and your chains. You get a rusty chain or you get a kink in the chain, it can cause you problems as far as your seeding accuracy, because it can actually shape, if it gets too rough, it can actually shape and drop seeds off your seed disc as you're going through the field. So you want to make sure the chains are greased and everything's in good shape there. That's it. Then we go to the meter and the seed placement. Okay, the first thing you want to do is when you get to your seed meter, you want to look at your seed meter, make sure this cap is in good shape. You can pull these seals out and make sure that they're not cracked down in the, pull these out and look at them. Sometimes they're weather cracked down inside here. That can cause you vacuum problems. Also, you want to look at your brush. Make sure your brush is in good condition and this rubber seal here. And then you want to look at your seed disc and make sure your seed disc is not worn. Sometimes they will wear up in the where the little indentation where your seed holds in. It can actually wear out, or sometimes it can get warped. So you want to look at that. How many guys get their seed meters run on a test stand every year or every couple of years? That's a good idea, because sometimes you don't really know where you're at unless you got someplace to start. You know, Purdue University did a test back in '08 about seed placement, and they said, you know, variable your emergence sometimes is 2.5 to 8.5 inches apart, and for every inch it costs you 5 bushel. They did some testing, and the worst they found was 21 bushel, and the best they found was like 5 bushel less per acre. And I always figured that 21 bushel was probably down the red down there or something like that. It's very important that you get the check your seed meter so you get the proper seed growth. And then on the final thing here was establish the seed soil contact and close the seed trench. How many people here use the spike closing wheels? How many? Last couple of years we've been selling quite a few, because if it gets a little muddy, it seems like it'll break off the dirt a little bit better, and you got a little bit of soil maybe to kind of pull in on top of the seed. But that's one option you can go with.